you all, it's Agnes coming to you with the Easter, the 100% Easter craft. This is all what it's all about. So, I simply quickly this morning went to my backyard and I collected some rocks here and there, and I think I'm ready. And I hope that you're going to enjoy this and hopefully make one for yourself. And it just happened that I do have the another board, wooden board that I love to use those, and I do not know. I've got them at some point, someplace. I don't even remember where. But I would like to dedicate that board to create the a Pebble Easter theme little vignette. So I hope you're going, hang around with me. And if you obviously do not have one, you can use make the background from the popsicle sticks. You could do the cardboard too, our favorite one, and frame it your own way. I am just going to simply use the wooden board because I have it. Just because mine is wooden, I decided to simply add a little bit frame to it and use a little bit of my paint that I, again, mixed myself up because I couldn't find the brown one, and I do want to keep it within the brown theme. But if you do not have the wooden board, you could actually use the twine, you could use the ribbon. I know you're creative. You could create your version and your board all by yourself, and I cannot wait to see what your ideas are because, again, we all have twigs and rocks back in our backyard. And to tell you the truth, the most challenging thing for me was to actually find the round ones, the one that, but I will for sure get to that in a bit. But I'm not going to hold you here too long because I do want to for sure make the bigger one later on for tonight. And I do not know exactly. I'm still debating which one I want to go for. But yeah, I'll tell you in a bit. I'm going to speed up this portion and we'll get back to the next step. As in the past, I do like to make my background wider. Obviously, I'm not the artist. I wish I could have draw some kind of sky in there, but maybe later. I'm just not going to embarrass myself, and I'm going to wait when my daughter wakes up, and maybe she will help me a bit to get some shading to it. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, I love to learn how to paint, but I do not know. I would not save my life painting at all. So again, I'm going back to my sort of a dry painting technique that I'm just simply making my background a little bit lighter so it does not look 100% a wooden one. I just want to have that canvasy look to it. And hopefully soon when my daughter gets up, we'll figure out some kind of sky shading of blue. But again, that's like a next step. So now I'm almost done with this, and we are going to play with our rocks. Of course, I washed them, and it is just so cold, and I was literally fooled by the weather outside because I did see the sun, but as soon as I went out, it was just so cold and windy. And of course, I'm in my pajamas trying to create some kind of craft. So now look at this. I have a little human right there. And that was the biggest challenge of mine. And I really wanted to find a bigger rock that has that little, how do you say, the body shape to it, but I couldn't. So as I am waiting right now for my wooden board to dry, I'm playing around with what I found. And I think I'm good. So hopefully my rocks are dry. I mean, my board is dry. Well, it's not really, but I cannot wait to show you. So what I'm trying to do is just simply create the little steps and create the hill with the cross on it. And I do have the twigs too that I quickly picked up too, and hopefully they'll work. So I'm trying to, of course, not that I mind, and of course in the different colors, but I'm trying to stay a bit with similar colors for all the rocks that I've been using, at least close nearby to the colors that I have. So I'm playing around creating little steps, and I'm trying to see if my little human that I think, oh, it is actually working, so it's good. And now I have a big rack up top, and I can try to figure out my cross now. So it is pretty easy, but now because my board is tiny, I do, you see, it is, but that's okay. I can still cut it up a little bit and figure myself out. And the thing is, I usually use the tacky glue to glue my racks to anything. And I've done so many. I love racks. I love to play with them. I love to create little things. I done so many things, and I cannot wait to show it to you. I mean, that is actually our favorite craft with my daughter, to collect pretty racks and then simply put them into nice composition. So I cannot wait to do that with you. So when you go for a walk, well, pay attention what's on the ground and find those pretty ones, and we will for sure try to make something cool with it. So now I'm using my leftover rope. Again, see, it still got me already through a project number 2. And I'm going to simply create the cross on my cross on the back of it, and I'm going to try to tie a knot. Now I'm not really worried about positioning right now because I'm not gluing. I just need to get the shape of it. And of course, I am looking as I'm doing it for some kind of a little white flower that I can possibly place in there, but I cannot find anything. And I will for sure, when I go back and organize my craft room, I will for sure find something and add to it. So here we go. My cross is ready for now. I'm not going to really worry about the rest of it, and I think it's time to glue it. So as much as it took me a little while to put them together, I need to make sure that I'm gluing one by one from the highest point to make sure that my racks are sort of floating on my picture versus touching my frame. As I'm looking at it right now, I wish that I found my human a bit bigger, chunkier. But again, I'll go with what I have, and for sure, this little vignette is going to be with me forever because this Easter is for sure different than any others I lived through. So I hope I inspired you to make something similar and put that markings, not that, it's the best one to remember, but at least the one that we need to get reality check what we have and what is happening around us. So I really hope I do inspire you to make something for yourself, something similar to that. Sorry, I'm just getting emotional every single time about around the holidays. So we almost done with this, and as I'm looking at it, to make that little bit more of I'm actually thinking if I should be adding a little bit more of the details. I'm actually very pleased with what I have right now, but I'm thinking maybe a little bit of moss or something that will actually suit this. Maybe some of the purple flowers. I do actually see it in my little stash leftover pics. Who knows? Let's just figure it out. But for now, I need to organize my cross, and I actually noticed that because I do have that little knot on the back of it, the cross doesn't. It just does not look proper. So I do not want to for sure stand it on a rack because that may actually get unglued itself. So I decided to simply add a piece of rope on the back of my stick to add a little bit more of a volume that is going to make that little bump that I created on the back not be as bad. So I do actually love it. It actually looks good now. So now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to bring my moss, and I am going to try to add a little bit of greenery to, cheer up that vignette of mine. What do you think? I think it will help out a bit. Yeah, a little bit here and there. And of course, I'm not going to use much of a hot glue. I'm just going to simply add a little bit more of interest. And maybe I'm going to stick my green moss that I still have here and there in between the racks to make it really look like it's old and we'll go for that. What do you think? I mean, I wish that I could have, find a flat, oh, see, this is the little pink one, the flat racks that I could have write something on it, but I was not lucky, and I was not willing to spend any more time in my pajamas outside this morning. So I do have those little purple flowers that I actually feel are very appropriate for this little vignette. So I'm going to use a little, of course, now my rack is falling, and I think it's because I washed my racks and they did not dry properly yet, and I was just really rushing to put this little picture frame together. So I guess I would have to go back and maybe use the E600 to make sure that this rack goes nowhere. So, okay, as I have you here, if you do enjoy what I'm doing, if you feel that somebody would love to make similar craft, can you please sprinkle it for me? So my video will travel out there and inspire others to make something similar and use the resources and that we can actually very easy find for free outside. So I think I am actually very happy with what I see right now. All what I'm missing is maybe a little bit of the, again, clouds, sky, something, a little bit on the top, or I don't know, or some kind of word that I'm going to stencil later. But I'm curious what you're going to do if you're going to do this project, what your ideas are, and what is your take on this. But as of right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And I cannot wait to show you the final pictures. Of course, in my craft room, it's not going to be the greatest one, but I will for sure show it to you. So here it is. Here is a little bit of a close-up. So I really hope that, and I do actually like how this came out. So if you did enjoy this project, please sprinkle, and I will talk to you later on today. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.